Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
Also, if you're looking for a unique gift for the holiday season, check out the Compliance Kids series. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. The Daily Compliance News for December 13, 2024, the Token Fine Edition. And we begin with that story from the Financial Times, which reports that McKinsey's $122 million bribery settlement with South Africa and the United States has sparked outrage in the country. South African politicians and campaigners have slammed the deal as insufficient, arguing the country needs to take tougher action over its endemic corruption. You might think, particularly against an American company, they would, but perhaps not. One commentator noted it will take 20 years to repair the damage done by McKinsey to South Africa, and these consultancy firms should not be allowed to buy their way out of a criminal sanction. This is a token payment and not one which would strike fear into the hearts of the corrupt. I would certainly think that's true around McKinsey. Next up, from the New Republic, or TNR, in an interview, Eric Trump has dropped hints about the upcoming corruption of the upcoming Trump administration. They're going to be pushing crypto everywhere, and guess who's invested in crypto? I'm sure it's just a coincidence. From Reuters, reports that the Angels of Death, i.e. the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, has ruled that NASDEQ cannot pose in rules designate to increase diversity on corporate America by requiring companies to listed on that exchange to have women and minority directors on boards. So, or even explain why they don't. So if you think about white privilege and the Fifth Circuit destroying anything that would be a whiff of affirmative action, well, welcome to 2024. And our final story comes to us from Bloomberg, which reports that Mike Wainwright, the former chief operating officer or COO of Trafigura, has, through his lawyer, said that, I might have been negligent, but I didn't have any criminal intent because he didn't know the payments were bribes. Well, it's the 8th day of the landmark bribery trial in the Swiss federal court, and now we're moving from negligence to something else. Of course, this is the person who has testified compliance was an afterthought at Trafigura, and there have been others who testifies that, of course, bribes were paid, but it's going to be interesting to see what the Swiss court will do to a Swiss trader in a criminal proceeding, and whether it will be something that the court would consider. And at the start of this podcast, the sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Well, Ethico has a great new offering this month for you, a toolkit for middle managers. This is something that you, as the compliance professional, can use to move your compliance program forward by giving middle managers the skills necessary to answer a call for speak up, or when someone comes in their office and raises a concern. I can't think of a tool that will be more valuable for you in the current era of enforcement. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.